What is the one thing that you've learned that you say, well, you know what? As long as you have this, it doesn't matter how much the world changes. If you have this, you'll be okay. What is that?
Integrity.
Lisa Marie Gallegos, I'm so happy you're here.
Oh, Freddie, thank you. Thanks for having me.
We were talking back and forth for quite a while, huh? Like trying to get this thing down. But I always found that my favorite guests and my best guests have always had a little issue trying to get it. That's just the way it naturally happens. But I'm glad. How you been?
Been good. Been good. Different roads traveled since we last have all been together, and but it's good though. Hey, we're all here.
Tell me about it. You and I both had our own, fork in the road.
Yeah, unforeseen fork in the road.
Unforeseen fork in the road.
Yeah.
And you went your way. Mm-hmm. I went my way. We came back, cross paths again at Spotify.
Yeah, thanks to Ron.
Thanks to Ron Shapiro. And by the way, happy belated birthday to Ron Shapiro.
Yes, yeah.
And then we exited again, another fork.
Yeah.
And now we're back
Here
again.
we are.
Wow.
It's I believed, and I've loved this saying that, the world is a circle. And like, you never know where you're going to end up. You never know where you're going to be. So be kind on the way up because you can see everybody on the way down.
Right.
You could be in the middle, and on random, you could be walking through Disneyland and then you'll see somebody and it's like amazing. You have always be humble and so forth. And
that's one of the important lessons that I learned. I think it was at KIIS too with my interns. I always told them, I said, even my own intern could be my boss one day.
Yeah.
It's wild how it works, but we've both seen it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. And it's like, whoa. So, but it's good though, it's
it
just
is
that
really
possibility.
Good. You and I are both kind of from the same hood. This is you're driving up and you're like, that's my school.
Yeah. Yeah. I used to hop that fence.
That's funny. Yeah. I remember when the kids used to walk down afterwards. Wow. So you and I both have that IE, but also LA hybrid, right?
Yeah. Right. The stigma of IE, there's nothing out here. Go to Los Angeles to be discovered and found. And it's like, no, that's not true. I mean, like, you can be found anywhere. But back then it was all towards Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And like the media capital, radio was Burbank.
Right.
And so a lot of it, great stations come out of there. But yeah, I remember you when we were at 3400 Olive.
Is that the Warner Brothers building?
That's the Warner Brothers building. Okay. Yeah, and you were answering phones for D's.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So much love.
I always tell the story of how I snuck in the building, right?
Oh my gosh.
And Lisa Marie, you were one of the first persons I met. It was you and producer Ruben.
Oh, yeah. And that was a great time. That time of radio, we saw something special because now everything's transitioned to whatever world it is.
Yeah.
And there was a different world before the pandemic.
Right.
But we saw it in its, not in its heyday, but like in its greatness. And we were in a company. So the Mays family still had the radio station in control. There wasn't a corporate level, clear channel, iHeart radio yet. It was still independent. So they were radio driven.
Right.
So, the stuff that we were able to get away with back then, down the hallways and everything.
Yes.
There's no way in corporate America now that would fly.
I always said that, I got to see the end of that era, and that era was so exciting.
It was very exciting. We had hands-on stuff, with the type of machinery and faults in the background and being creative to where now everything's in a click and on your hands,
When you're creative, and you have a kind of a mess around you, this little, that clutter sometimes helps think,
Yeah, we were on floppy disks and stuff back then.
Oh my gosh.
When I was in the building, I'm like, what do you mean our machine doesn't have this anymore? And we were dying then,
How did you end up working at KIIS?
Gary Spears. So Gary, but I got an intern. So Gary was at B100. They had a morning show there.
Right.
I wanted to be an intern so bad. So what I did was I went to a trade school in Huntington Beach. I got my internship at through B100, but I bugged their producer, Wayne Lewis. I called him every day at the same time.
Okay.
10 o'clock since the show was over. And some days I wouldn't call and he'll pick up and he'd be like, where were you? And I'm like, I don't have all day to be calling you.
Right.
Oh, okay. How's it going? We would chit chat. And he goes, come in for an interview. Okay. Interview, scored it. That Gary was lead on the show. Gary went to KIIS And so like, that's where I met Boomer Cervantes, and that's where,
That's right.
So like I was working with the whole B100 before it went into
Mega. Yeah.
And so, but Gary got afternoons at KIIS. And so he had told then Tracy Austin, who was in charge.
Right.
And Michael Steele.
Steele.
Yeah. Well, Tracy interviewed me. She says, impressive and resume. And, Valentine needed a phone screener. So I was the temporary person.
Okay.
Budget cuts came a week afterwards. So I'm like, last man in, first man out.
Of course. Welcome to radio.
Yeah. And so I'm like, crap. And so Val said, hey, I'm keeping you. Great, And so it was, the opportunity part-time. Mm-hmm. I can't tell you how many times I drove back on the 210 back to Ontario.
Right.
Just so much emotion of, I want to really get in and do this. I want this to be my life. I don't want this to be part-time.
Right. Right.
Oh, my gas mileage and all this other downfall of financials. And I'm like, I'm having to do real jobs in order to have my dream job. And
right.
It's like, oh my God.
And there's a certain realization of having a real job when you have your dream job.
Yes. And so I'm over here at Bullwinkle's being a front assistant.
You worked here at Bullwinkle's?
Oh, honey, that was a funny one too. So, okay. So I went in with some friends. We all interviewed. Well, they got called back and I didn't. I'm like, oh, like how this is going to happen. So I called them. Hey, I got called for an interview. And they're like, hold on. So I'm on hold knowing that they're trying to find my paperwork because I'm not in the right stack. Are you sure somebody called you? Oh, yeah. I spoke with blah, blah, blah. And they said this, but I just want to make certain that I had the time written down. I'm just confirming.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I got my interview. I got hired. I ended up being a cashier dressed like a Mountie. This was before they did the whole remodel.
Okay.
And then I ended up staying there for years until I made assistant manager until I got into KIIS. Yeah. And I would tell the story to our GM at the time. He's like, I swear, LM, and I'm like, you have to open your door sometimes.
You got to do what you got to do.
I mean, not like don't break the bank or be crazy, but if you don't think your opportunities are fine, no way.
Yeah.
And so that's how I got into B100, being persistent.
Wow.
Became Val's producer. And it was hard to leave Valentine from producing from him to go into office.
Oh, right.
Because my background's clerical. And so, as soon as they saw that, you're quick and you can communicate and that you're able to be, a bottle spinner from the back end.
Mm-hmm.
And 23 years it lasted me until we jumped into the pandemic. I was with them 23 and a half years.
See, because you go from Valentine, and that's basically showbiz, and then you kind of go into that back end, which is administrative, right?
Right. Well, we started the voice tracking stuff. So there was like a test market.
Right. Okay.
So we were doing that kind of like a nighttime thing after the show that was being in different markets. So they were testing back then what had grown into now like big radio. Like,
yeah.
You could be in LA and have a beautiful show that's on whatever service.
Gosh.
Anywhere. So like they were trying that back then in the early 90s or the mid 90s. But yeah, my clerical background is what spun it. And I got to work with great individuals, which you made me laugh because John Ivey would air check off of anybody. And I heard that story to Jay and I was like, oh my gosh, I hope we talk about this.
Yeah. That was a day. And it's so funny when I walked out of John Ivey's office that day, I look at you and I'm like, I hope nobody sees me with tears. And you're like, oh honey, it's okay. And I'm like,
oh my God. It would be like, it was just so great being in that seat, just being outside that door because I saw the greatness. And look at you are where you are with the growth of everybody who gave you the garden to be in and cultivating.
Right.
Like you mentioned Ron Shapiro, we came together because you cross people that see the talent.
Yes.
And they'll keep it in mind.
Right.
And so congratulations where you're at now.
Thank you, Lisa Marie.
So well deserved.
I'm just hearing your stories, and we really do have so much to talk about because we've been in the trenches for quite a while and in the same trench.
Yeah.
But I always tell the interns, I go, they always say, well, a bachelor's degree, I have a master's degree, but it's still so hard to find a job. And I said, well, don't undermine your network, the people that you know, even if it's just family.
Yeah.
Because you call them and they might know somebody. Just go start with your contact list.
Yeah.
And start hitting everybody up and say, hey, I'm looking for something.
Yeah. Right now, even it's so rough. Like everything is streamlining I would just fielded a message I left for my cousin that she's looking for work and we're hiring where I'm at there, and it's okay, why not throw your hat in the ring,
Yeah, yeah.
But like, it's interesting that you say, of like the internship. So a lot of people, they have that mindset. I don't want to do it for free. I don't want to do this. I want to be paid. Like, you have your goal of what you want.
Yeah.
But interning is still a thing, and
I'm glad it is.
It's a great opportunity. I brought internship opportunities to Clear Channel when I came.
Is that you?
I opened the door because we didn't have anything. I'm like, where's the internship?
Yeah.
Where's the interns? Oh, we don't have it. Oh, I'll be captain. I had 143 babies. That's how many people I assisted. And when we walked through from the time I had opened the door to open internships to when we had our last year at iHeart.
Wow.
Yeah, counting. And out of that, a lot of greatness, a lot of good.
To this day, the interns hit me up and they're like, "Hey, Freddie, here's what I'm doing, man. I just want to say thank you for,
so good. What I love about radio is that we all have the same passion.
Yes,
it's beyond music.
We do.
And it's like, it's compounded because people are like, yeah, it's just playing music. And it's like, are you kidding?
Yeah. Do you have any idea how hard it is to even get in and then how hard it is to keep?
And the background, the fun off the mic and the fun in the room.
Oh, you're right.
And
yeah, I know. The silliness of that ecosystem.
But it's amazing. And then all of a sudden everything's like, hey, how is everything? And then that's when it's chaos again.
Yeah.
But I just really hope that it stays a beacon of entertainment that it's always been. It feels threatened at times. I can see it, but then you see it blossom because there's only so much we can do with the computer. We need that interaction.
Right.
We need that person-to-person contact.
Yeah, you need that person's energy. Even if it's through a microphone, through the radio.
Yeah.
And the familiarity. You root for people too when you hear them on the radio.
Yeah.
You need, and that is pretty awesome. But I guess the one question that I think everybody who's watching is going to want to know is, what was it like to work so closely with John Ivey?
Oh. So I love John and his family and just everything. All in all, it was fun. It's a hard position because you got to get all this information and stuff, book the guests and whatever. And I'm like, piece of cake. And so when I walked into working with John, I was already organized. Yeah, and I read him. I was able to read him pretty well, I think. We were together for 18 and a half years.
Wow.
Yeah, for me working with them. And then that's when they had announced that another assistant was going to be working with them because he was transitioning. Mm-hmm. And I was already assisting 5 PDs because I had the FM floor there.
By then you did, yes. Right.
I was laughing because like behind me where I sat, the fire extinguisher was behind me and had the arrow. And like it was like right on my head.
Yeah. You are, you're putting out fires.
Is that a horrible pun? So, but yeah, no, John, he was great. He never, for what everybody saw and how rough they saw him. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we had a good, tandem.
I remember those days where I would drive him to the airport and drop him off and take his car back to the building. And there's a different side of him for sure.
Oh yeah. So, we had to be strict though. I mean,
yes.
In order to have the guidance and we were where we wanted to be.
Right.
But man, that guy had a great ear and, with music. I still look back at the Lady Gaga moment. Did you know about, so he used to listen to it and Poker Face came out.
Okay.
And he was like, Julie, we need to call Brenda because it sounds like she's saying, like your face.
Yeah.
And what? So they're calling people in at different times just to get fresh ears into his office. Some people were saying, some people were saying weren't. So it's still on YouTube somewhere. You can Google it. She was at Wango Tango and she was explaining how thousands and thousands of times it's been played and it's all over the place. And only one person called her out on it. John Ivey.
Wow.
All of us were there and I'm like, see, I knew it. He had an impeccable ear. And just to see the beautifulness of his, pictures in his office, he took a picture with Wolfman Jack. And that just floored me. He had that just definitely a pride, a prize photo. Yeah.
Wow, that's a radio.
Right next to where everybody would sit and do their air checks.
Working with John Ivey was intimidating because when we first started my air check, it was like the second time he hit rewind, it started to freaking melt, Lisa Marie, and I'm just melting. And I'm like, oh no.
I remember that day.
I walk out and I see you.
I had to shift my desk. So before I was like, back to people walking, I'm like, no, I need to be able to be equal with like whatever. So I was sitting ergonomically wrong. Yeah. So that I can see people coming down the hallway. Yeah. And I just remember you walking out. But there was like, I love JoJo. Mm-hmm. Shout out to JoJo, right? Yeah. He got raked over the coals sometimes too. And like, that was just John. Yeah. And I think it was great because you guys were better. We were. So and the guidance, I would hear, open door, closed door at times. And it's amazing just to see how a person can do that just by sound. What
did you learn about working so closely with John Ivey? Whether it was him or whether it was something that you internally learned about yourself being so close to him.
Don't take it for granted. You keep your past in front of you so that you can use that as your gauge. Right. What I learned a lot from John is that no matter who he was dealing with, if he needed to say what he needed to say, it was done. Yeah, right. Whether you had artists calling to beg to talk to him about a song. Right. It's Steven Tyler on the phone. And tell him I'll call him back. Yeah. Okay. Composure. And that, what? The one thing I regret, though, about KIIS, I didn't take enough photos. Really? I respected my position because, it was great to see people off stage. Yes. That they would approach and, I'm outside, one of the biggest program directors, door. I'm not going to be sitting there like, can I take a picture? Right. Yeah. Chris Martin walks over and goes, ever been to Universal Studios? Yeah. Have you played with the wands? And I'm like, where else would I ever have this conversation, Right. But also to being able to be a part of an impeccable team. Like I knew my ambition to be in radio was either KIIS. That's it. Mm-hmm. I had no other. Plan. Okay. So every avenue I went to, left arm was KIIS. And if they didn't want me, I was going to try for Disney. Okay. And go in, on their side of like animation. Even though I don't draw, just use my talents to get in. Yeah. And oh my gosh. Wow. But from working with them, I just think now, I haven't spoken to him in years. Yeah. And it's just, but I'm grateful for the amount of opportunity that I had for being in such a great position. Good. That's for great. That long, because the turnover wasn't there. We were there for almost 18 years. Yeah. Together. Everyone who came to see John saw you. Yeah. And got to know you. I was the gatekeeper. You were the gatekeeper. Yeah. In some sense. And it was, multi-stations that he had handled and different, switchovers in the building. And it was interesting. I remember when it was towards the end of my stint at KIIS and I get a call into John's office and he said, hey, good news. You're going to Dallas. And I'm like, I am? Why? Yeah. What did I do? My gosh. And I went to Dallas and it took me, I think, probably a couple of years to realize that, actually it took me 7 to be exact. 7 years, Lisa Marie, to realize that I needed that. Yeah. It could have been addressed better by both parties. I through it was probably one of the hardest things in my life because when I left Dallas voluntarily, I didn't have a job for like years. I didn't have a job. I had no money. I pulled out of my 401k. No station wanted to hire me because I was just like, because I quit iHeart and I had a fallout with John. Everyone's like, I don't want to touch you. It's like when you have a fallout with Don Corleone, everyone just wants to stay away. Like you have like, whatever. But after the climb back out, I look back at, my air checks now and the videos now and how I live my life. It's just so, like you said, grateful.
I am truly grateful for everything because I'm more proud of who I am now than that geeky little kid with so much energy. Just chill out, dude. You knew me back then.
Oh, but like, you know what? We all went through phases. We all grew up in radio.
We did.
We were young. Like we were, some of y'all walked in early 20s. I started radio when I was 24.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So to be in it as long as I was, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And it's just so, but I could see where the hurt would be. I mean, who wouldn't? Because like you're in a place for so long, it's like family. You're seeing people more than your family. Yeah. There's a line in the first movie, The Devil Wears Prada, that Santucci tells Anne Hathaway, tells her, let me know when your life's falling apart. Your personal life's falling apart. That means you're a success. Boy, isn't he right?
Yeah.
Because you sacrifice everything to be somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, the change when you left KIIS, I was like, oh, because it hurts, and what was hard for me, the hardest thing, I felt like the green, the Reaper?
Yeah. The Green Reaper. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I would be the one.
Right.
To go, and I couldn't show emotion. I couldn't show
you
anything.
No,
hey, go get such and such.
Right.
Okay. Hey, would you mind coming in? And everybody trusts me because they're like, it's Smiling Lisa.
But everybody know. I think. Well, at least I knew.
I had
I'm sure
people that
knew.
kind of were like, oh, I can't believe she came and got me. And I'm like, if it wasn't me, it would have been somebody else.
Yeah. No. But you know that it was John, and you had a responsibility. And you were good. You were solid. You were solid.
Just business. But at the end of the night, it would take a toll on me because I'm like, oh.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, we hope we all stay in contact. And we have.
We have, yes.
And I mean, the pleasures of working, Julie Pilot, she's doing great things with Will I Am, and the giving back to the community. So he has this whole like compound that's all about AI based and teaching the kids.
Oh, wow.
About AI and like just promoting it and like giving them the opportunity to.
Will I Am is such
I love him. Him and Taboo are just awesome because they're just give backs, You
remember the live broadcast at Not Scary Farm we used to do with KIIS? Wasn't that so much fun?
I loved like I said, we did things that was probably a little different now.
Yeah. Being
on remote, being somewhere fun.
Yeah. And that's the thing. When you do what you love, it takes a lot to get into this business. But once you're in, when you do what you love, it is one of the greatest gifts of life.
Yeah. And you're not working. You're just being better every day.
Exactly. Yeah. And the people you meet, you cherish it so much. You don't come home and, have to crack open a bottle of something because you're like, I hate my life. I got to go back tomorrow.
We've all been there. Like I had mentioned, we were probably all knocking out different jobs to be where we were at, and it's like, we knew what wasn't our calling.
I worked across the street at SAG-AFTRA.
Really?
SAG-AFTRA for the medical. Yeah.
I think I remember that.
Yep, I worked at.
I think I remember that.
I was an Uber driver for a little while during this last era, just to survive, And here's the one thing about this Uber driving that I did. It was last year or 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I go, what was so cool, Lisa Marie? It was, everyone's coming back to life from $COVID.
Yeah.
And nobody knows who I am. I'm just picking somebody up at 2 a.m. at night, just in the middle of nowhere, driving them to blah. And they're just like, yeah, man, my job is, and they just start telling me things. And we just start talking. It's two human beings alone in a car.
Yeah.
Just talking, connecting.
Yeah.
And I thought that was incredible.
There used to be a show back in the 70s, like Cab Confessions or something.
Oh, yeah. There's a revision of that. Yes.
Yeah. So that's essentially what Uber is, and just everybody has their own camera.
Right.
But that's the thing. Everybody has their own camera now.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh my gosh.
I know.
I wish we had that back then because that would have been amazing.
Yeah,
but I crack up because every generation has their own niche of like what's cool and like what's going to be, blossoming and blooming. And then what's the seed that carries over to the next generation that's considered valuable,
Yeah, right.
And my nephew, right? So he went to the school just down the street and he's now in high school. And, so appreciative that he respects music from the 90s.
Yeah.
The 80s.
Yeah.
And it's like what we planted was music.
Yes.
And so forth. And so each generation is trying to do that as well. But it's so interesting.
What was the hardest thing that you learned about your role at KIIS FM when you were there?
Confidentiality and
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And I learned before walking in there, because I had other positions where I was friends with coworkers, and I would, hey, let's go out to go eat. Or we had, I don't know if you remember, but there was that fantastic karaoke bar across the street, Dimples.
Yes.
World famous. Now it's Whole Foods.
Yeah, it is. So, with apartments on top, right?
Yeah. But that place there used to be so amazing that afterwards everybody would go and kick back and do, karaoke.
Those were fun, yeah.
And it's just being blessed to be a source of confidentiality.
Yes.
But it's, that's learned because, you learn a secret. How many times have everybody said, well, don't tell, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. And secrets are going to go out.
Yeah. And so that's just, I think that's where I learned my greatest strength, of being able to be that iron door. And then I became the firewall, and there we are.
Wow. Because that's got to be kind of weird though, right? Because say, for example, like you think someone's about to be let go, or they're going to get demoted or moved around, and then you're like, all right, just hanging out with them, and you're like, okay, I don't know about, it's a tough role, but you know what? It's this is business what we're in.
That's what it is.
And you have to be. You were, Lisa Marie. You were really, in fact, you've always been really good at your job.
I
think that's why I think you've worked with some of the top elite.
Yeah. Oh, I look back and I'm like, oh my gosh, heavy hitters.
Yeah.
Big time. They're still in play, which is great.
Like, give me an example, because like for somebody who only fantasizes about working with the elite, right, or people at that level, like what is that like? Like, what do you see on a day-to-day basis?
It could be anything. You name a person, a celebrity that would walk in the door that's uncommon, and like at their highest, and they just walk in and they're just themselves, like Abel the weekend coming to see Doc. And it's like, okay, walking him from wherever they're at. Like, well, in my head, I'm thinking, holy crap, this is the weekend behind me, whatever. It's like, or Morrissey, I tell you, when we had him at the station. So that's our dream artist. Well, my guy's like, that's spirit animal. Mine left a purple heaven, which broke my heart. I was at KIIS when that news came through. But just the moments of that.
Right.
But it's cool because, working with the elite, I treated my shift like a radio shift. I had to come every day better than I was yesterday. I had to keep bringing it and being competitive because I knew everybody wanted me on my seat. How do I become like you? How do I get where you are? Lisa Marie, how did you get your position? And sidebarring with guidance. There's been a great amount of people who I'm so happy to had the opportunity to be able to chat with them when I saw that they were broken and not to give up and to keep going and because I've seen how the road curves, how to approach certain situations and how to sell themselves in a meeting.
Right.
And by doing that, they got sponsorships. Mixing opportunities at prime shows, that led to great, amazing things, and it's like also too being Jiminy Cricket and letting them know you need to back off. You need to not pursue right now. You're going to smash straight into the wall because it's not the proper time to be that way. I know you want to confront a situation or whatever.
It sounds like something you told me, I'm sure, many times, right?
Take a deep breath, walk away. Because what you're feeling now is what you're going to regret later.
Yeah.
Because you need a moment to put it all together. Because what happens in panic? Chaos. So like just showing people like, okay, just breathe it in.
Yeah.
And so your hardships got you where you are now. And look at this. This is young Freddie wouldn't know this, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know if you shared your handle with everybody, which you used to go by. Yeah, Mr. DJ Froggy,
This is how long we've known each other, Lisa Marie.
And so we've all sat there and did the fun stuff, back in the day of wanting to be what we are with. You went above and beyond. You built a radio station. Heck, I was just sitting there with the tape recorder and, chatting away and doing my own beds and like mixing, that way. And it's just impeccable.
We both ended up at the same place.
Yeah. And so
remember the air checks we used to do? Oh my gosh. We had to do these air checks where we had to like find certain clips of this long day, right? Oh, those were not fun. I remember that.
Oh, I remember cutting those. Like the last thing, somebody will be coming down the hallway and I'm like, do you have your air check? They're like, no. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay, give me, okay, I'll stall.
Yeah.
And I'm over there cutting them up. And what do we have at my desk? Audacity. So like the cheapest version of an audio thing. Right. And I'm just cutting through and I'm like, go in with this. Yeah.
Well, here's the crazy thing about your role is that you were administrative, but you also were producer. You were air checking.
Yeah.
You were kind of like therapist for the office.
Yeah.
And
I shocked people. There's people who walked in, we weren't automated yet, or we were, but we would go off the air and I'm running into the studio and
you slot in the CD.
Here we go. Hit it.
Knew how to run the board.
Bring the fader up, hit it, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, where'd you learn that? I'm like, we haven't known me long enough. Walk away. I was there, when we had tragedies happen, and we had to go on the air and announce and see on-air talents not know how to handle a situation and see how they rein them in for it, 9/11.
Yep.
Wow.
And what a day that was. Rick was on the air that morning.
And it's just, you see everything for face value, but then you see the moments to where entertainment is entertainment, but then when they're coming to you for information, true information, and rather than them continuing to do news programming, they turn to how are you? Yeah. How are you handling it? Compassion.
Right.
There's so many different directions, but because they, everybody thinks that they're just so quick and so spot on. Well, they have to prove who they are too. And I saw those moments. Mm-hmm. That was great. Yeah. That was, interesting. And
you saw the human side of,
beyond human. Yeah. I saw exactly what we would go through of like, well, crap, what are we going to do? Yeah. The answers weren't all there,
What's so funny? I walk in one time in John Ivey's office and he's cutting his nails with a gold clipper. Yeah. And he says, don't tell nobody this. And I said, I won't. But I remember that moment though.
Yeah. I felt like the human moment. It's just, I can tell you that everything that was behind the scenes, they all are great. But there is the curtain, like the Wizard of Oz. Yeah, we do. They have to have that niche, that go get 'em type of consistent forward thinking. Yeah. And
explain why, and I think you know the answer to this. Why does somebody in that level, right, need to have that hard barrier for personalities in LA, and why is that a necessity?
You know what? John was very soft. What I saw with people, like he would have certain things, so it wasn't always a hard, tense situation.
I think it was both, but I think I guess also a lot of the jocks were probably intimidated too because
but he knew that John knew where his history came from. And, when KIIS was in a different, the genre of music was like Lilith Fair still. And LA wasn't embracing it as much as the rest of the world was, so like we had a flux of different artists, and John had the ability, and Julie and Beata, of finding artists that, just like talent, they knew they would be superstars. Right. So before anybody else would, and, staff would be like, really? Questioning what? Yeah. Okay. And they would be like, oh yeah, this one, let's try this one. Or, oh my God, huge. And the power. Yes. So the power, because of the stature that KIIS was. Yeah. And that's the mothership, right, of pop radio. And on the West Coast, and look how much we have, right, west of the Mississippi. Mm-hmm. And so, artists would change and adjust music based on his ear. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's like, okay.
I am grateful because here's the truth. I saw the absolute best of John Ivey because he was incredible to me, and a little bit of the worst on that, but only towards the end. But I think when it's the end, it's going to be the worst no matter what,
Right.
But I remember it was one of my first talk breaks, and I don't know if it was him or something, but they were poking me, tickling me to see if I would crack up and laugh.
I remember that.
That was
oh my God.
Yeah, moments like that I'll never forget. I think Valentine was there, and he came in.
That's so funny. When I started working with John, he oversaw KIIS and Star 98.7.
Oh, that's right.
He was walking back and forth. Yeah. He was program director of 2 stations. That's why I started multitasking.
Yeah.
So, and like just and like, you know, with Rick, and then with Rick, you know, no longer doing mornings, and then Ryan doing mornings once we moved in, and like the full circle of everything. And, you know,
how did you handle that change? Because that was
emotional.
It was very emotional.
I couldn't be in the building. They were there. Everyone's like, "Oh, we're going to line up outside of, you know, Rick's studio," and like.
Well, there was a lot of transitioning happening because
I couldn't do it. Like I would have really like.
It was the changing of the guards, and not only were we changing the guards, we were changing buildings.
Literally, and like you know, the one thing that I felt, I was very angry. Yeah. I've never really been angry at what we did, but I was so angry of how things went for Ruben, because, you know, I don't know how it came about, but he moved the office stuff that day. And then he was like, oh, and that was the hard thing. A lot of the releases were done at the end of work, and a lot of companies do that.
Yeah.
But, my heart broke that day.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was a very hard thing not to see him there, because I saw how much he did on the background. Yeah. That you know, that when you, I mean, it's business. Yeah. But when you see people that you know that are doing great things, or maybe I'm a horn tooter. Like I will share something great that I've done. Yeah. You know, not like, hey, look what I've done.
But like, now's the time to do it.
But like, it's like, you know, because you don't be afraid to show your worth.
Right.
Like you know, speak up, own it, you know, shine.
You're saying he was probably too humbled and quiet about
I think so, of a lot of things.
Right,
and maybe what a lot of things that was done at the time, it was, Ferries did it. No, Ruben did it, you know, and it's like, okay.
Yeah. But, I can tell you, I mean, I want him to speak for himself, but I think, you know, some of the things he told me were, he always felt that maybe he just thought he favored, you know, Rick over Ryan, and maybe because of the, you know, the loyalty for so long. You know?
Well, I love Ryan too. Like, I mean, it was great being able to be there and see his, like, the growth and the start. And
you got to see the start of Ryan Seacrest.
100%. Like,
wow. What was that
John
like?
sat in every show at the newspaper.
Did John sit in
the morning?
Wow,
yeah, in the corner.
So nerve-wracking for Ryan.
Yeah, I remember that. I'm like, do you need me to come in early? Nope. You know, and it's like, okay.
I remember passing out candied apples in front of Rick Deese's home with Ruben.
Awesome.
That was awesome. That was like, I can't believe I'm doing this.
That's amazing.
Rick is the reason why I'm in radio, and I'm here at his house.
That's so funny.
But it was cool. Then I remember, it was so many incredible moments, and then the Christmas parties that we had.
Yeah. That turned into like
Disneyland.
Yeah. We didn't even do it. Like they were like, sponsor, give us a theme park. Yes. And we were like, okay, yeah.
That was fun though, right?
Oh, it was fun. Yeah. It was good. But I mean, like the amount of great people that like I had mentioned earlier, like when I went to a trade school for radio, and I had met an amazing person, but person who I clicked with that was great, who ended up being a guest on Valentine's show, which was Michael Clark Duncan.
Wow.
And like, we were in a class together over there, and I'm doing something small, and I'm like, well, I've seen you in the Players Club and this, that. And he always played like a big burly bouncer or somebody. He goes, yeah, I have a small part. And we went to a KIIS screening when we used to have them, or you know, sitting there and spat popcorn out of my mouth at Pasadena Hastings Ranch Theater. And I'm like, Big Mike. And, you know, and Michael's like, what? And I know him. Yeah. And so when I saw him next, I popped him in the arm, and I'm like, what do you mean a small part? Yeah. So when he got the Green Mile, I had him come. He didn't know I got to KIIS.
Oh.
So I called SAG-AFTRA, and I asked him if I can get to get his agent's number, or at least someone to reach, and what we had interest of reaching out. And then I talked to them and said, I don't want to let him know that I'm here.
Oh, okay.
But
right.
I would love for him to come have a guest or afternoon show, this, that, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Sure. So when he came in a big burly voice, walking down the hallway, and we're still on Olive. So we had that long corridor.
Oh, right.
And it was like, LM. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And
so he saw you right away, and
lift me up. And like everybody fell in love with them. Some more than others in the office. Yeah. Right. And, but, that was the best time too, because Roy came down the hallway of like, who the hell's on the radio? Because that's not Valentine. And he was on the mic. Val walked away and he was running the board because he knew what to do.
Wow. Awesome.
I was like, and then we lost him.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, the good things.
What a great memory, though.
It's fun.
Yeah. Lisa Marie, I'll tell you right now, you were incredible at everything you did, and I'm not, I'm not fluffing you, I'm not, but no, you really were, and you were well respected, and you were truly loved, and I think like for me, like I always had love for you outside of the station because I felt like we had this connection, like it's but if I remember. It was my birthday, and I needed like reservations or something like. And you're like, I got you, don't worry. And you called with your official voice. I still can
do that. Yeah,
that was talk about talent. Okay. So hold on.
So, boo on a crowded night. I'll get the prime table.
Do me a favor.
Yeah.
For just because we're on the podcast right now, do me a favor. Just if you could just give everybody the sound of that voice, like if you're calling like Nobu for Freddie. And birthday at 7.
The professional mode? Yeah.
Like just take us there.
So it's like, hi, can I please talk to the manager on duty? Hi, my name is Lisa Marie. I'm administrative assistant for the programming department for iHeartRadio. I have our air talent, Freddie Rivera, that's looking to come and dine tonight. Would you happen to have a prime table available? And they would normally say, oh, no, we're all booked up. Okay, are you sure? So host for one of our prime shows for, LA's #1 hit music station, KIIS FM, is unable to get a table, anything. I mean, I know you can fit something in.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, when they put me on hold, I knew they were looking.
Yeah.
And so it wouldn't be like hold on, let me see what I can do. It'd be like, oh, could you wait a moment?
Yeah.
And I'm like, we got this. And then sure enough, and then they'll come back and they're like, okay, do you need a credit card on file? No, we're fine. We're okay. Can I get a number? Okay. Give your guys' number. Okay, great. Thank you very much. I appreciate you.
Yeah. When you did that for me, I'm like, ooh, like, all right.
Yeah.
And then like, I'm going to show up and they're going to be like, who's that?
Who's this? I just used that for where I'm at now. My boss was like, oh, I forgot to make a reservation.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like, and because I work for a nonprofit now. So like, they don't ask me to do that.
So you're still doing both.
So, yeah. Wow. So I work with PAVE Studios.
Well, can we tell everybody what you do?
We can tell. Oh, yeah.
That's a big announcement because you work at PAVE.
Yeah, I love it. Shapiro. Yeah, Max Cutler. I do still quality audio controlling there. I love listening to it because I hear the audio. I appreciate my ear. I appreciate my ears like a photo album. Okay. Or like a theater of the mind, like, just sitting in a dark room and just taking it in, before any type of, marketing of put on, a mask and like headphones. Yeah. I was able to take myself into a place. Yeah. So like I can relate to Ratatouille with food.
Yes.
That's me with audio, right? And so, it's great. So during the daytime, I do my nonprofit, that we support others. I work for Society of St. Vincent de Paul.
That's cool.
And then at nighttime, I'm listening to like serial killers.
Yeah.
There's an in-between.
You need that balance. Wow.
But it's good though, and I wouldn't trade it in. Like, I mean.
That's awesome.
It's fun. It's good.
What your favorite artist that you met at any station? Who was it? Like, who was like the wow factor? Like, oh my gosh.
Okay, so the person that wowed me, Tommy Lasorda. Tommy Lasorda, because diehard Dodger fan.
Yes.
Not so. I mean, my brother is. I was the annoying little sister that went because I used to like to sit in the stadium and have hot dogs and watch the game and hold the radio.
That's what it's about at Dodger Stadium.
Yeah, they were, diehard. My dad, long standing since New York to LA. My brother, all the way through, and. So it was after Tommy had his heart attack.
Okay.
And I'm at my desk and Don Martin's walking him through, who was the program director at the time of 570 Dodger Station. And I said, Uncle Tommy. And he comes over. He's all, hey, kiddo. And I just start crying. He's all, are you okay? And I said, you need to take care of yourself. And he put his hand on my shoulder. He said, I'm not going anywhere. Yeah. And I said, you better not. And so, and he walked away, and he winked. And I'm like, man.
That's like a movie.
It was, and then like, when we first started working, when I first got in and we started working a different shift, Chick Hearn, legendary, like Lakers, we carried their games. Yeah. So like Jimmy Reyes, who's still in the business as well, was running the boards for them, and like, It's like, okay. So like, it's like we've seen a lot of legends and like those.
Right.
But music artists, Stevie Wonder.
Wait, you met Stevie Wonder?
You weren't there when we did the House of Toys?
No.
Okay, so you know how we had a performance studio, right?
Yes,
Remember by reception?
Right. Yeah.
So that thing, unplugged you can be, or you can be plugged in.
Yeah.
And it wasn't in the back. This was right by reception.
Right in the lobby. Yeah.
Yeah. So Stevie Wonder, before social media and all that big boom, he would come and bring the Tonight Show band. And they would plug in, and he would play for 4 radio stations. So he would do 4 sets.
Wow.
And like the best one was to be in was the one with Mark Wollengren from Coast.
Okay.
Because he like just super fan of Stevie.
Yeah. Okay.
So like, he would just, Sir Duke, that room would be rocking.
This must have been before 2014 or something, probably.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
This was, but like the impromptu artists, I mean, rest in peace. He just recently passed, Jimmy Cliff. I'm walking down the hallway from John's office, same room. So it's a sharp right turn to get towards the studios.
Yeah.
So if you turn too fast, you can knock someone out because it's a blind corner.
Right.
So I was always careful because I'm 6'3", you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so I round the corner and I'm like, oh shit, Jimmy Cliff.
Yeah.
And he came back, what you know about Jimmy Cliff?
Oh,
So I knew I was been watching your movies all weekend. Huge smile. Who had the bigger smile? His A&R rep, Grover, Tom Barry, because nobody recognized Jimmy in the building.
Really? Okay.
I was the first person just off the cuff, and he had that look like, God damn it, LM, I love you.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then so one of our other
we played Jimmy
people,
Cliff on Cola.
Oh, that's so great. So so one of our salespersons pops up like Jimmy Cliff, because Peter came from Jamaica, so of course he knows who he is.
Yeah.
And he was like, LM, can I take a picture? And I'm like, I'm not the man. Like, let me ask, you know?
Yeah.
I wish I would have got a picture with him. That was one of the moments, like I just, it wasn't in me. And like the times that I took pictures with artists, they told me, get over here, LM, you're taking a picture with me. Miley, Janet, and I have those and I cherish them. But in my mind, I'm like, God, the wheel of photos I could have had.
I remember that moment you talked about with Chris Martin.
Yeah.
When he was there.
That was so odd because John was waiting for him to go in and speak with him. And Chris is standing with me going, you ever been to Universal Studios? And talking about the wands and how his kids liked it. And John's like, I can see John through the window from out my window to his window. Right. And he's like wrap it up. And I'm like, so, I wasn't 6'7" him. I was telling him like,
yeah. No, because that day I brought him up from the freight elevator, and there was a sign on the wall of that freight, and it said, "Stop taking the newspapers, whoever you are."
That's hysterical.
And so he goes, take a picture of me still in newspapers, and I took a picture of him.
That's awesome.
I still have that photo to this day.
Hysterical.
And I brought him up, and that's when,
that's funny. That had to have been the same.
Chris was awesome.
He was amazing and the most humblest person. Like,
truly.
So I fell in love with Sam Smith's voice as soon as I heard him.
Mm-hmm.
So like, the Greek Theater was like a sing-along, and I had a meet and greet with him in office.
Okay.
Then I had a meet and greet with him at Jingle Ball.
Right.
Just because I just wanted to say hi in passing. And then there was another show that we had went to. It was, his label rep, and it was like, oh, let's come back and let's go see Sam. And he saw him after thousands of people and years had gone by. He goes, I know you. And I said, yeah, John Ivey's assistant. And he's like, that's where I know you. The name didn't come to play, but the face stood after millions of people have seen. And it's like, wow.
Did you go to the Troubadour show with Sam Smith?
I did not go to the Troubadour show with him.
That's the one I did go to. There was like an industry night.
Yeah.
And after the show's over, I see this pretty girl behind me, and I didn't notice her till the end of the show when the lights came on.
Yeah.
And I look back, and I go, I'm just, looking because I'm there with, I don't know who I was there with. And it's Lana Del Rey, and she happened to have just been there with JoJo a week ago.
That's great.
And I go up to her, and I say, hey, good to see you. And she remembered me, and we're just talking like two people hanging out at a bar.
That's the greatest moment. See, that's what I love, that exact moment that you're describing, because, they're out there, and I mean, they're not being who they are, but they're being a different version of who they are.
Yes.
Because that's what makes it special, is because you're seeing them on stage.
Right.
At their best.
Yeah.
But when they're just being me, they're off stage, and that's how we saw them a lot, you know. And it was just like, okay.
And it's kind of like a refreshing for them and for you, because
I think it was a great, you know, ease and you know, a great exhale, not having to be.
Yes.
Be like,
it's exhausting. That's exhausting.
I would imagine. So that's why I told myself, you know what, LM, your sacrifice is no photos.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, it will in the long run benefit you.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's a great sacrifice. It's a great regret now, but I think because I was able to keep that professionalism.
Yeah, you were.
And
you were very much in the moment and taking care of the moment.
Yeah.
On top of that.
Oh yeah.
You and I met a lot. You met probably more because you've been there longer.
I used to do security for JoJo's in studio.
Oh, you did.
Yes.
That's right.
I was like, I'll be there.
Do you remember Kylie?
Yes.
I still talk to Kylie, by the way.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I see her. I follow her. Shout out to her. She's doing great.
Yeah.
But it's so like I was there like classic moments. JoJo used to nickname his friends, family, listeners nicknames. So they, you know, coming up with fun stuff. And then like, you know, we just, the mayhem of the in studios of cramming everybody in there and be like, this is a fire marshal risk. Okay, we're cutting it down. You know, I think we fit 40 people in the original studio. That was with O-Town. That was our first one.
Wow. Okay.
And we're like, okay.
Funnest outing or concert or radio event that that's in your memory.
Well, the most regretted one is I didn't go to Michael Jackson's Neverland Ranch.
That was gigantic, and I remember.
Did you go?
No, I was barely a phone op. And
I was so mad. I was invited, and I was afraid to go because my asthma was tripping. And I'm like, I don't want to be in the middle of Santa Rosa or wherever with everybody.
And need I
had my inhalers and stuff, but my asthma was so uncontrolled.
Yeah.
And it was going to be late at night. I don't know what would.
Right.
I was just, damn it, I should have went. This day, I think back there, you know, because everybody that had shared and JoJo has still posts photos.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, like the funny thing, you know, but it's just, that's my biggest regret.
Yeah.
The funnest, I would have to say our Wango tangos.
Okay.
All of them.
Right.
All of them.
Yeah.
It's just, when, it was, but most importantly, the Dodger Stadium ones. Were you with us with those ones yet?
I went to one, Ricky Martin.
So, that was fantastic for us to fill the stadium and do stuff. And then we did different venues. And so now I think they're doing them all at SoFi.
Okay.
Or at the beach, I heard. But
yeah.
Yeah. So like it's changing and going different.
I'm not going to lie. I saw that lineup and I didn't know who like half those artists were.
I'm like still trying to stay in pop culture. I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, LM, you're 52. Please don't hold me to that. But like, you know, and it's like, okay, you're, you know, I love the music.
Yeah.
There's some that I can be picky with.
Yeah.
But like to say that I'm pop culture anymore. Oh, hell no. There's no way.
It moves too quickly.
Yeah.
Especially
it's very
now.
fast.
Well, even like, you know, you follow the forum, the KIIS forum on Instagram, whatever. Half of these artists, I'm like, who are they? And I look them up and they're a lot of my TikTok artists. But I am so happy that K-pop got its embrace because it was fought for a long time for it coming to the West Coast. How was Morrissey when he came in that day? Did you get to talk to him?
Did you?
I tried and I looked for him.
You should have hit me up for that when he came in for the in studio.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so that was.
I'm leaving iHeart.
Told me.
I know.
Oh, I would have got you in.
What was that like? What happened?
Oh, so it was amazing. So Michael, you know, my better half is like you, like he knows every Smith song.
Yeah, we're like yes.
Like, you guys are definitely like musical brothers, and so I mean, you can name that tune and like, and he'll tell me exactly what it is. So when I told him, hey, Maz is coming, he would never come so much for a lot, and he would do it for me. Like I took him to all the Prince shows, mostly to the forum. We went out of 21 of them.
Prince in concert?
Oh yeah, so oh my gosh, a lot, and like. Oh, I was diehard. Like we used to do, you know, Glam Slam when he had his club after hours.
Okay.
The coolest time I saw him perform. So just to cut over to Prince.
Yeah.
So his club, oh my God, Freddie. So he had like these, I don't know, Amazonic women on the stage.
Okay.
You know, goddesses.
Right.
And then just beautiful decor, purple and all that stuff. But when he would perform, he wasn't a dancing.
Yeah.
White couches on the dance floor.
Wow.
You sat and watched him perform after hours, and he would go till the sun came up.
Wow.
That was rare, but that was awesome. Yeah. And that wasn't a KIIS related moment. That's just my heart being purple.
He's truly one of the most incredible artists I've heard.
He, played
live
some more his instruments. He used recording and dubbing and so forth and sampling. I mean, who's not going to say that?
Well,
but
everybody
he was a
does.
pioneer. Yeah. But it's just to be able to play all of what he did, and a lot of it self-taught.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
But for Morrissey that day, when he came, to do the in studio for 98.7, it was maybe about less than 30 people in the studio that they had then, so it wasn't packed.
Yeah.
And he was just in the moment, and and it's like,
that's awesome
to see him that close. Yeah. I mean, Michael was like, "Oh my God, this is like."
Did you guys get to talk to him at all?
Just a hello, how are you? And he was walking out because after everybody left, we were able to go out the side door to come back to my workstation.
Okay.
I was right there outside the green room.
Right.
So I told him, come with me, but just sit down. Don't say anything.
Yeah.
So hello was it.
Yeah.
But it's just like.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
How is that,
Wow. That's cool. That's very cool. Yeah. I've been to a lot of Morrissey shows. I regret never going to Prince, although, I always wanted to. That was one I didn't. Because he passed away, what was it, like 2000?
Yeah, it's been, he was 2016.
2016, okay.
We're on 10 years.
Okay, yeah. So he was still doing shows. I remember the one show, he was doing a show, I think here in LA, and he invites some people up to dance with him sometimes on stage, and Kim Kardashian.
I was there for that one. That one was funny.
Oh,
yes.
And she gets kicked off the stage.
Yes, I was there for that one. So he helped save the Forum.
Did he?
So the Forum was losing its land rights because the church wanted to buy it. So Prince, he announced then George Lopez had his show that he was going to come and do a show at the Forum. Every seat in the house, $25. And he did 21 nights. The nights that weren't oversold, they black curtain and they brought down.
Wow.
They let you choose a seat.
Wow.
Lower down.
So Prince did that.
Yeah.
And so, Forum.
Oh yeah. And then, so it was funny because afterwards, like sometimes he would be riding his bike around. If you hung around late enough, you would see like interactions, because it was center stage.
Oh,
so he would grab a bike and start riding around. People were like, that's Prince in heels riding a bike,
Out of all the music venues in Southern California, my favorite is the Forum.
I like the Forum.
There's so much history. But not only that, I love the sound. Thank you.
I love the sound.
Okay, so
the sound.
I'm glad we could talk about this.
Building, because it's all about acoustics and certain structures, and like you build something that's modern and say it loud and proud, cheap. You're gonna get that,
right?
But the Forum is brick.
Right.
It's not drywall, it's lat.
Yeah.
And that the way that it's shaped and domed.
Yeah. That oval shape of it. You're right. I saw Depeche Mode there this recent tour, and their sound was so incredible.
Yeah.
Now compare that to like crypto, right?
Yeah.
Too high of a ceiling where the acoustics kind of, bounce off a little bit.
Yeah. The last show I really appreciated, like literally kissing the stage, Fleetwood Mac.
Which one did you go to?
So this was their last LA appearance as a whole set.
You went to that? Okay, so that was just a couple years ago then, right?
It was. And it was great because, we were still the old setup. So maybe it wasn't the last show before the last show, because this is when Christy was still alive.
Was this
and Lindsay
the Forum?
Buckingham. This was the Forum.
I think this was the same show I went to.
And so I'm sitting here at work. And so for everybody that knows, sometimes if people don't pick up prizes, we don't let them go to waste. We throw them to staff. Let's be real.
Right, yeah.
So we throw a raffle for the tickets. I'm like, I'm sitting there, but at the time it was first come, first served to the front desk.
Yeah.
So people used to run, and me being right there, I heard, we have a pair of Fleetwood Mac tickets, man. I ran quicker than lightning. I saw that they were front row.
Oh, that was the same show.
Are you kidding me?
Because I think I grabbed those tickets too.
Oh my gosh.
I think that's how I ended up going.
And so that was the best. So we're in the elevator going down.
Wait, so did you say you were in the front row?
Yeah, I was literally up against the stage, like up against my chest. Lindsay Buckingham was right in front.
Wow.
But when we were going down, because you had to go through that VIP elevator to get down, I turned to my right and there's Chris Isaac. I turn to my left. There's Chaka Khan. I'm like,
wow.
I look at Michael and I'm like,
okay, so I just recently saw Chris Isaak in concert.
Oh, that's
for the
so funny.
First
Good tie-in.
time ever.
Yeah.
And he,
amazing artist.
Amazing artist, amazing performer. And I thought, okay, he has a lot of slow songs, so it's going to be very relaxed, chill night, right? At Yamava. And I'm all right, cool. It'll be cool. The guy's funny. He cracks jokes. He's an entertainer.
Entertainer.
The old school, That's
what Prince was a great showman. When he had a show and he would be sitting there, you'd just think he would just be straight out.
Yeah.
He would tell some reminiscences. He would, joke about certain scenes or whatever. And he
would narrate the whole
100%. But who's my regret artist? Who? David Bowie. I never went to go see him. And I was old enough to see him. Yeah. I saw Tom Petty a week before he passed away.
Where?
At the Hollywood Bowl.
Wow. Oh, you were at that show. That was
and that was amazing because everybody was just like, hey, how are you? We're all going to have a good time. And we were in a box, and people were lining up next to us. And I'm like, no, we're okay, and they're like, it was just all like a kumbaya fest. And that's the kind of shows it was. But man, I'm so glad we got in to see Tom because I was on the freeway when I heard that. I'm like, son of a
because I think, was it LA was like his last show?
Yeah, he had 2 nights. So we were the second to the last night.
Okay.
And then a week later, he passed away.
Wow. Yeah, I remember that. And I was at the same Fleetwood Mac show that you were at. I brought my buddy Carlos with me. Yeah. And he knew of them, but when we saw the show, he was like, dude, that was one of the best shows. That was very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good night. That was a really good night.
Yeah, no, it's seeing it's just another, turn back to music is just such a bonder.
Yeah.
And to me, it's a photo album. Like if I think of certain songs or if I hear certain things, I can picture family moments or I can picture tragedy that I was facing or something I overcome or something that just, made me feel so joyous.
Because it's attached to your emotion so much.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
See, when it's attached like that, then it becomes a photo album, I feel like.
Yeah.
That's why, like my parents, when they talk about music in the 70s, what it meant for them,
Yeah.
And that's the power of music. Yeah. That is the power of music.
No, it's good. So what is your greatest radio memory? To flip the script.
Well, okay. It's actually a funny story. You want to know? Well, it's one of them. And I don't know if it's the greatest, but it's probably close to, if not the. I was full-time at 99.1 KGGI a year in. Mm-hmm. Now, this woman called Lisa Marie calls me. She says, hey, John Ivey's going to call you. Be ready.
Ah, that's awesome.
And I said, okay.
I remember reaching. That's so funny.
And John Ivey calls me and he says, hey, I got something kind of different for you. You're going to be part-time on air. You can continue doing your thing, but you're also going to be JoJo's producer. And you're also going to be you're going to do a little bit of everything. And I said, I know it's a little weird. It's going to take you off full-time at KGGI. Think about it over the weekend and get back to me on Monday. And I said, okay, well, John, I can tell you right now, it's a definite yes, but if you want me to call you Monday, I will.
That's funny. I remember reaching out to you. That's when he was CHR president.
Yeah, okay.
Overseeing, because he used to watch Riverside at one time.
Got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when that call, I had that moment, where, you make sure nobody's around and you just kind of just
do the happy dance.
Happy dance. I did the happy dance. Yeah. I did the happy dance.
That's awesome.
I'll never forget that.
That's so good. The power of John. Did you hear the story of Jesse Lozano when oh, wow. Jesse was getting a haircut and I don't know what was the situation, but when I called him and he was like, I'm in the middle of getting a haircut. And I'm like, no, you need to tell them you need to come back.
Yeah.
He came with half his head cut. I have a photo of that somewhere. So it's like Jesse Lozano.
Yeah.
And it looked like Jim Carrey at Lloyd Christmas.
Yeah,
so the other side, they weren't done yet, doing whatever they were doing. And I'm like, oh my gosh, the power of John to interrupt somebody in a hair check.
Right.
And a haircut.
Do you remember this? I think it was Beata needed me to fill in for middays or something. It was an emergency fill in. Somebody was sick and then somebody else couldn't show up. And I think you were trying to find me, but I was still asleep or something. Oh. And so you ended up calling my buddy Lewis.
Oh,
and I'm like, so talk about the power of. And I said, how did they get your number? And Lisa Marie. I'm like, she's a detective, man.
It still is.
That was awesome. I go, wow, that was cool.
Funny. Oh my gosh, hysterical, embarrassing, but fun.
Yeah, well, I was young. I was very young, and the transformation of who I was then is
no, not on your part, like mine. Like I have no boundaries. Like that's what that is. Like it's like, oh yeah, you need to get a hold of somebody. I called John at a restaurant one time, not knowing whose reservation he was under. Was he at Morton's? But I'm like, they knew him, and I needed to get home for something, and called down there. John Ivey down there? Yeah, we think he's the one. I'm like, can you please let him know that we're trying to reach him? And the waiter goes with the note. He came up and he was, I was in the middle of a lunch and I'm like, this is pretty important.
Yeah.
So I was able to, yeah.
You were good. You have to admit though, you did learn a lot.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And it's stuff that stays with me, everything that I learned there, how, just from basic stuff,
right.
The art of communication.
Yeah.
Able to talk to somebody in their eyes and not really be like, oh, I can't look at you, or like confidence because you're expressive. Yeah. I learned that a lot.
And you have to, adapt. That's
adapt.
Big thing.
That's
especially in today's world. You have to adapt quickly. And, but I guess here's something important I guess I want to talk to you about is, while the world is changing and adapting and evolving, rapidly. Yes. And not just for the older people, but even for the young people, right? Yeah. What is the one thing that you've learned that you say, well, you know what? As long as you have this, it doesn't matter how much the world changes. If you have this, you'll be okay. What is that?
Integrity. Yeah, integrity. Because you can't sell yourself. Because a lot of people are learning that it's changing so much that you have to be you. Right. To be a great you, to be a better you. And then some people, they see artists, struggling, like Meghan Trainor. Mm-hmm. Meghan Trainor came out on an interview saying that, she gets emotional trying to go to get emotional trying to go to radio stations to get her music played because she's a different version of her. Right. People, were so used to seeing Meghan Trainor when she came out and all about that bass. Yes. And, body loving, self-loving. And now she's in a body that she loves. Yeah. It's not they think that she's like not keeping up with her person and her integrity was compromised. And, I feel for her. I hope she has great success because she has the right mindset. Yeah. She's doing it for her and she loves what she's doing and she's sharing her music. Good. But, integrity.
That's a good one. At least Maria, that's a really good one, integrity.
Yeah, because you can't sell that. Because once you do, because then you lose the respect. Yeah. That's the molding piece. That's the binder.
It's having that strong center too. That's not to get knocked off because things going to get crazy and windy around here. But if you can hold on,
and thick skin. You gotta be able to.
I learned thick skin at KIIS.
If you're going to be in an industry that's going to face competitiveness, be ready for, and especially now, social media. You read comments. Sometimes you're like, "Whoa!" Yeah. And you're like, "Okay, well, okay." And some of them you're like, I self-diagnosed myself as inappropriate laugh syndrome. I don't know if that's a thing, but if something catches me off guard, I'll laugh out about it and be like, oh my gosh, okay. I'm not saying that's funny, but that just like, that blew my fuse. Yeah. But thick skin.
I learned a lot too, Lisa Marie. I did. I learned a lot then. I'm learning a lot now. Yeah. And the more you learn, the older you get, the more you realize you're never going to stop learning. Life is going to continue to evolve.
Oh, until you're in the dirt. And even then, exactly. You leave a legacy, and that's what, depending on what you want to do. But see, you do good by inspiring others. So
really? Thank you.
Because even like you said, you reach back to your interns or that when they contact you or you're in communication with, or you're still friends with, or you still get together with, it's that bond and just centered. It all comes hand in hand.
Yeah. Well, Lisa Marie, I can't believe we actually did this.
I'm happy that we did.
Man, I would ask how Ron's treating you, but we both know Ron. Yeah. So that's a.
He's good. Well, I saw that you went to his
he got an award.
Yeah. With Kelly, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
By the way, Kelly's great. She's awesome. Yeah. She put together a really great event, and I met Rick Allen for the first time.
That's amazing. She's another example. So when she left KIIS, it was like, what was she going to do? Where was she going to go? I don't know what doors were open for her. And she said, screw it. I'm opening up my own imaging house.
Yeah.
And it became the mecca that it is.
She's doing incredible. And the fact that she lives like out in the middle of nowhere, just it's so freaking cool.
Oh my gosh, to hear wolves howling probably.
Yeah, And the jets flying by. Yeah. They do practice over there. It's wild.
Yeah.
Well, Lisa Marie, I'm glad you're happy and you're continuing to be busy, work hard, and give what you got to give out into this world. And I see that you're also still keeping in contact with everybody from the days.
I try.
Yeah. Isn't it cool to see everybody growing up and evolving?
Amazing. It's sad too, because it's just realized like how fast time went by.
Right.
But it's so to see everybody either where they're at, where they're going, or that they're growing. Yeah. And it's amazing.
Life in itself will teach you. And it'll grow. Yes. If you don't grow, something will make you grow.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Lisa Marie, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you because you've not only stayed in the game, but you stayed in the game with an impeccable attitude.
Oh, thank you.
And you saw it all the way through. So you've been consistent and you've been just incredible. So glad to have you here. Lisa Marie Gallegos.
Anytime.